You know, LeBron James in the second half probably had the worst second half of a postseason that he's had this year. It wasn't good. They did a really good job on him defensively, and as DB said, you know, really owning the paint, I think, is something that's significant for Denver when they play against them. And look, questionable substitution by Mike Malone at the end of a game. I think Paul Millsap should have stayed in the game instead of Mason Plumlee. Miscommunication happens. AD makes a shot. But still, if you are the Nuggets, that two-man game that you have between Murray and Jokic, that is your bread and butter. And everybody knows it. Those two have to be great in order for them to have a chance.
And I don't, you know, if I was a betting man, I wouldn't bet that LeBron would have a second half again a second time like he did the last game out. It's not something that he is going to do. Just not.
Take me inside the mind of a player, because I would imagine the Nuggets are like, my goodness, we let that one get away. I mean, we have no margin of error against a team like this. The Lakers were well rested. We again played a 7-game series. We again played them down to the wire. One defensive lapse, as you mentioned there at the end for the AD shot. What's it like the day after a loss like that as you get closer to that game where you can atone? What's it just like within the team, the film session, all that stuff?
I mean, it depends upon who you are. I mean, the mindset, you have to flip it around. So I know how it was easy for you to say, well, you know, we should have got that one game. But if I'm sitting there, I can't bask in my anger or my frustration about we should have got the game. I have to think next play. So for me, I have to think, okay, we should have won that game. How do we win the game moving forward? How do I learn from the lessons we made, from the mistakes we made game prior, and how do we adjust and how do we play? If anything, Jokic and Murray should think that they belong on this stage. And they've been in this boat before. They've been down 3-1, 2 series in a row.
Right.
It's only 2-0 right now. Get one, you're down 2-1. You're right back in it.
That's tough if you don't forfeit this game, Key. You got to get out there and get it to 2-1 here.
That's true. They're down 2-1 and
2-0, 2-0.
I mean, 2-0.
Yeah.
It's a bubble. They want to get to 2-1. But the guy on the other side with number 23 with that gold and purple on, he's on a mission too. Although the second half of the last game, he didn't play well.
As Jay referenced. Yeah.
But the other guy, the big and Anthony Davis, played well. So as I've always said, as long as you got somebody else that's there that can pick up the slack, then
yeah, but
you're okay.
I'd much rather have AD get his and me control LeBron James. LeBron James not only creates for AD, he creates for everybody on that team, him and Rondo. Like, those are the two queen pieces.
But
right? Like, now Anthony Davis is an extremely, extremely gifted, talented player. But LeBron James is the queen piece.
But if LeBron's not scoring,
I'm not talking about just scoring. I'm talking about facilitating.
I'm just going to say, he does so many other things that he passes down to everybody else, whether it's facilitating, whether it's rebounding, whether it's the control of the mind to get them to play a certain way to follow his lead. All of those little things are important. You can't take that away from him, right? Like you may be able to take the shooting and the scoring away, but you can't take the mind away that he's passing to the other guys, that they now got to pick up the slack because he's not having his best afternoon.
I hear you, but if I'm going into the game from Denver Nuggets, I'm not thinking I can't take anything from LeBron James away. Damn it, I'm competing just like anybody else.
You can think that way.
I'm just trying to get you to think on the opposite side of the ball, Key.
But he ain't going to let you
do me a favor for 1 second.
Yes.
Stop thinking like you're a Laker fan. Tell me
I'm a fan.
No, I know. But tell me if you're on the opposite side, if you're on the Denver Nuggets, for a guy who is as competitive as you are, if you had to wait, hold on a second, let me finish. If you had to compete against LeBron James, how would you compete against him knowing how competitive you are? What kind of little things would you try to do to compete?
I'm gonna compete. I'm gonna get up in him. I'm gonna get right up in him. I'm gonna do what the coaches say we need to do. If I need to close him out on the left side, I'm gonna close him out on the left side. If I need to push him to his right, I'm gonna push him to his right. If I need to double, I'm gonna make sure that I'm sliding to the top to double. If I need to go through the screen to get to him, I'm gonna go through the screen to get to him.
That's exactly my point.
I'm gonna frustrate him as much as I can. But the problem is I know that's going to be a tall task.
Agreed.
I just know it is.
Agreed, but a lot of tall tasks have been accomplished in life.
I'm a fan right now anyway.
See, that's what I'm saying. If you're Jeremy Grant, you can't go into this game thinking, well, I can take everything else away, but I can't take LeBron James' mind away. No. Like, you have to stay on him 24/7. Meet him the full length of the court. Use your wingspan. Frustrate him. Get in his face. Like, look, LeBron James is maybe the best player we've ever seen. LeBron James is still human as well.
Right.
Okay? Like, there's still games he can be agitated, things of that sort. You have to be a gnat to him.
No, you do have to be. But my point in all this, though, Jay, is that you take certain things away from him. He has so many other gifts that he gives to his teammates that it's hard to take certain things away. If I say I'm taking his scoring away, Okay, I take a scoring away, but he's going to give something else. If I say I'm taking a pass away.
I'm just trying to tell you how, like, the Detroit Pistons look at Michael Jordan back in the day. Like, yeah, you can't take anything away.
But Jordan was young then, too, though.
I understand. I'm not picking one side or the other. I'm just explaining to the viewer how, if you're the Denver Nugget, you have to go into this game with that type of mindset.
See, I feel like you want the Nuggets to win. I don't like that.
I would like to see a competitive series.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Game 3 tonight on ESPN Radio. Game 4 for a possible sweep on Thursday, which would put the Lakers in the NBA Finals for the 32nd time in franchise history. Incredible.
And how many championships would that be?
That would be if they
It would get you guys
16.
one more than the Celtics,
I know.
right?
No, we'll be tied with the Celtics.
They'd be tied with the Celtics?
I said that because Zubin always reminds me. 32nd time, 17 if they win.
17 for the Celtics now, 16 for the Lakers. And how great would it be if the Lakers could get to 17 by knocking off the Celtics in the NBA Finals, the resumption of the best rivalry in basketball.
Take me in the mind of the next things that we're going to do right now.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.